Quick. All right, welcome to the BAM Blog Breakdown where Brian Kaiser, Mike Calderwood, and sometimes, every once in a while, on Mondays, Aaron Zambrano break down expert business blogs so that you can better understand and apply the information to your business and life for real results. That's what everyone wants, right? Real results. So before we get started, we're going to point you over to our YouTube channel, where you're going to go over there and you're going to push the subscribe button and go ahead and you can do that now. While you're doing that, I'll explain why you're going to do that. It's going to allow you to review this and many other blogs that we have BAM slammed in a cool, fun, and energetic way. And it'll also notify you each time we have a new episode. I mean, come on, YouTube thought of it all. All it takes for you to do is just, follow those simple instructions, go over to the YouTube channel, subscribe, and you'll get the notification for education, enjoyment, and things that you can actually apply in your life and business for real results. So I'm your humble co-host, Brian Kaiser. I'm here with my BAM partner, Mr. Mike Calderwood. Mike, how are you this morning?
Brian, I am fired up, wired up, and ready to rock and roll. I love this post. I love Luke Iorio. He makes me think so much outside the box without getting too deep, and I love that about his post. So I'm really excited to break down Luke's blog today. So yeah, I'm doing good, man. I love our pre-show too. You and I, in about 20 minutes of pre-show, we generally solve all the world's problems and then keep it to ourselves.
It's excellent. It's excellent. That's what we're here for, right? That's what we're here for. Now, the URL is kind of lengthy, so it's going to show up underneath the video so that everyone can go over to the ipeccoaching.com and find this blog that we're breaking down today because, like Mike said, Luke absolutely BAM slams a home run with this one by simply, it says it all in the title of the blog. It says it all. When it comes to change, is it the survival of the fittest? Is it truly the survival of the fittest? So let's get into a little bit of my summary of this blog. And I'm going to start with asking 3 questions. 1, are you able to change? Like today, if you had to make a 180-degree change, could you? Have you positioned yourself, your business, or your relationships for change, either positive or negative? Have you thought that out? Have you gone through and actually positioned yourself so that you know what in the heck you're doing when the change occurs? Lastly, are you educating and edifying yourself so that it is more of an incremental shift than a monumental change when you almost make the process of change unnoticeable? Are you doing that? What are you doing for you? Now, Luke doesn't come right out and ask these questions, and I really urge you to get over to the blog, read the whole piece in its entirety. You're going to come up with these same questions probably that I did, and you'll probably come up with a few more on your own. However, the point is that Luke makes very clearly, things will change. Things are always changing, and either you adapt or you die. He puts it, or go the way of the dinosaur. But one way or another, you're not gonna be able to stay in the current situation. You will become irrelevant. That's it. So throughout the ages, it's been said to us that the fittest or the strongest of the species survive. And as we go through this blog, and Luke very, very craftily explains to us and educates us that history shows that it's the most adaptable of our species. Not necessarily the strongest, because he points out the dinosaurs were way, way, way wicked strong. And they're not here. They weren't able to adapt. They weren't the most adaptable creatures. So therefore, the species is no longer here with us. So, that's really the question. And, the point of this blog is, are you positioned to change? Can you? Will you? How will you do it? Do you know? Have you thought about it? So we look at it again. My aha moment in the blog was that I don't think, in talking with many, many people, which I get to do because it's my fun little habit of being the world's greatest connector, I'm aware that most people aren't actually set up or even aware that change is happening. Like they're so ingrained and engulfed in their business and what they're doing today, right now. It's the greatest thing ever. And they're not taking a time to stick their head up and kind of look around and see, what else is out in the environment so that they can start preparing themselves. Like I said in my third question, start educating and edifying themselves, growing them so that they can keep living, as James Arthur Ray puts it, and we've said several times, your magnificent obsession. You can't do that unless you're going to follow Luke's advice here and prepare yourself for the inevitable. Things will change. It's going to happen. So, Mike, I know you love Luke Iorio's work, and you've met him and different things, and you're also an IPEX certified coach. So what was your aha moment in this blog?
No, I didn't have one. No.
Man, that is sad. I'm calling Luke.
Could you imagine?
I'm calling Luke right now.
Yeah, could you imagine me not taking the opportunity to take the microphone? But you know what? In a jokingly way, I could say that. I could go, no, there's no aha here. I'm not accepting change, right? No, of course not, right? My aha, Brian, was the reality that I already knew being reinforced in this post, which is change is constant. And if change is constant, as Luke talks about, therefore, if I'm not willing to get better at dealing with change, or if I'm sitting around with I don't like change attitude, or I'm not willing to accept change, then I'm fooling myself. It would be like sitting around saying gravity sucks and I'm not willing to accept it, but that does not exclude you from being subject to the forces of gravity. You're still going to be subject to those forces. So I'm sorry, guys, gravity's here to stay and change is here to stay. That was my aha moment. Brian, why don't you talk about your 3 keys to the blog? No, it's my 3 keys. Oh my gosh, I'm all backwards. It's my 3 keys to the blog today.
All you. It's Dude, all you, baby.
You don't even know what's happening right now, right? And we didn't even change anything.
I know.
All right. So for me, Brian, let me get into the 3 keys. Brian Kaiser, 3 keys to the blog, right? So number 1, my number 1 key in today's blog, and I think this is important, because when we think about survival of the fittest, right, we start putting like a life or death type sentence on change, and that's not really the point here. Could be that drastic, but the number 1 key to survival, or at least reaching new heights in our journey, is the ability to manage change and adapt to change, and to realize that you're changing too. That's key. Okay. And I start thinking about, if you have a lot of conflict in your life and you're not good at conflict resolution, you may be somebody that doesn't like change because you don't like conflict, right? So if you're trying to avoid conflict, because change is pain, change brings up the new, the unknown, and that can often bring up conflict for us. So along with dealing with change, I would suggest that you're working on conflict resolution as well. Number 2, key to the blog, our success depends on our acceptance of the fact that change is a constant force, and to raise our awareness and knowledge of change happening around us. Now, Brian and I are business coaches, consultants, mentors, we work in the business realm. So I want to put this in a business aspect for you, but know that this can apply in any area of your life, But I'm going to look at it this way. Are you aware of the changes that are going on in sales and the psychology of buying? Sales are not the same today as they were years ago. Are you aware of the changes that are happening in marketing, in internet marketing and social media, and the changes that's having on the way that we build awareness? Are you aware of the changes in technology that will help move your business forward? Are you aware of the changes in your industry, rules, regulations, anything like that, laws, right? Look, you could talk about changes in food, changes in traffic, changes in needs, changes in wants. Change is all around us. It's our awareness that matters. Dunn's Brother Coffee is a local coffee company here in Katy, Texas, and they were positioned right in front of a nice shopping center where there's a ton of traffic. There's a Home Depot shopping center on one side and a H-E-B shopping center on the other side. A ton of traffic. If you ever drive down there, just to get through those 3 lights can take you 15, 20 minutes, and it's about a quarter mile. That's how busy it is down there. Yet, when a Starbucks opened up nearby, it was only a matter of time that they were going to go out of business, or it was a matter of a willingness to change to go out of business. They chose not to change. In fact, when I would go in there to have business coffee meetings, anything like that, I would talk to the owner. I would say, hey, what are you doing differently? He goes, well, I haven't seen you in here lately. I said, well, honestly, I like Starbucks better. I come here because it's a better meeting place. It's quieter. I said, what are you doing to change? He goes, we've done the same thing the same way for years. I'm not going to change. We can make it. He was unwilling to change. He had Starbucks, the largest coffee conglomerate in the world, go in next door, and he was unwilling to change anything. But you know what, Mike? That's just a little coffee shop, and Starbucks is swallowing up coffee shops all the time. Yeah, what about Kodak? You ever hear of a company called Kodak? My kids haven't. Right? Why? Because they were unwilling to change. They thought the digital camera business would destroy their film income. So they shelved it, and they decided to stick with the old way and not change. You ever hear of Blockbuster? This happens all the time. An unwillingness to be aware of the changes that are going along in the marketplace, in the industry, and unwillingness to change with them. Third, understand that change is opportunity. It's good. It's not bad. Without change, there's no next chapter in your life. Without change, there's no next chapter in your journey. Just write one chapter, you're done. And keep living that chapter over and over again. So what changes are going on for you right now that you can embrace and advance your business or any area of your life? And then I've got kind of a 3.5 key to the blog today, okay? And that is listen to the cues that are coming your way. I want to draw attention to this shirt. I wore it intentionally today. This is my old brand, Thrive Business Center. Great logo. And when I started Thrive Business Center in my coaching practice, people loved my logo. They said, man, what a cool logo. That is an awesome logo, right? And it kind of built up my ego a little bit. I'm like, yeah, I paid a lot of money for this logo. I had some professionals help me out with this logo. I had a great coach help me out designing this logo. This logo has meaning. It has a lot to it. It was solid. And Thrive Business Center was cool. It was catchy, right? And people started to buy my products and services. But after they got to know me, they stopped relating with Thrive Business Center. They said, Mike, I don't get Thrive Business Center. I don't get it. I get you. I relate to you. I relate to your story. I relate to your message. I relate to your style. I don't get Thrive Business Center. Cool logo, but I don't get it. Now, I put a lot of money and thought into that logo. And fought for my logo. I could have fought change, right? But I had to listen to the cues. And I started to say, man, people aren't connecting with Thrive Business Center. People aren't connecting with this really cool logo. People are connecting with me. That's what I was told. I listened to those cues and I made the change. And now I brand myself as Mike Calderwood and Calderwood Coaching, not Thrive Business Center, where people couldn't connect and understand and relate. Brian, those are my 3 keys to the blog, or 3.5 keys to the blog. I know that you wrote some great application points. Why don't you get into the application?
Definitely. The Mike Calderwood Coaching Advantage application. And, Mike, we got finished with this. This is specifically for us here at Growth Coaching Systems, but the application applies. It applies to everyone. And we just got finished going through this, and we're actually fixing to go through it again. So I took what Luke was talking about in this blog, okay, what he's talking about, surviving, being the most adaptable and all that. And what we did was we sat down with our coach and went through a whiteboard session, and we outlined 3 things, okay? Three areas were very specific on really honing in on these areas. And this wasn't the normal session. This was specifically for where are we going to be in 3 years, okay? So the first thing was, where is our business today? That was the first thing we looked at. The second thing is, who are we serving the most today? And the third thing is, where do we want to be and who do we want to be serving in 3 years? Okay. Now, from there, it was a simple thing, and I'll ask you guys that are listening and watching, and I know Mike's going to have some comments to put in there. The question came down to, what are we putting in via systems, processes, procedures today? What are we doing today that will accommodate not only the cycles in the market of today, but allow for the growth and change in the company over the next 36 months. Are we really thinking forward? Are we just thinking for, hey, here's a Band-Aid. We're sticking the Band-Aid on today. And when that Band-Aid rips or gets old or falls off, we'll find a better Band-Aid. Okay. We really didn't want to do that. We really wanted to be a little bit more strategic than that and think, where do we want to be in 36 months? Now, as a team, we identified on the whiteboard the things that were in place and the process that we started, but we also identified the things that allowed us to go through a discovery process and a journey of personal growth of each person on the team that would better prepare us and allow us to better understand those gaps that we identified, that we found in our projections over the next 3 years, and how we were going to fill them. So it wasn't like, okay, instantaneous, we fixed it. It was, okay, we're going to have to actually get some more education. We're going to have to get some more training. We're going to have to grow and edify ourselves a little bit in this process so that the company will get to where we want to go in the next 36 months. It's not going to happen overnight, but if we don't start, poking our head out of the sand and looking around, seeing what's going on in the world, in the market, in the society, all those things that Mike laid out in the 3 keys, sales, marketing, technology, industry, we have to look at all those factors and we have to educate ourselves to be able to adapt and grow with the times. So that's basically how we're applying this information that Luke God gave us with, hey, is it survival of the fittest or is it the survival of the most adaptable? And I think Luke points out really clearly it's the survival of the most adaptable that it really boils down to. And Mike, I can't wait. I know that you're gonna have something really great for us, and I just have to ask you, what did you learn from this Bam Slamming Home Run blog?
So before I get into what I learned, real quickly, because you just nailed something big time, and that was Luke teaches us in this, and you got to get over and read the blog post, people. You got to get over to the IPEC. The links are down here in the description box. Just click on it, head over there, read it for yourself, read it a couple times if you need to, but it's really good stuff. But you said, it's the people that are adaptable, right? And there's more to that though, right? There's acceptance and awareness as well inside of that. And that's what's going to help you be adaptable, is to accept the fact that change is happening and be aware when it's happening. Then you can adapt, right? Brian, you said something that was so key in your Advantage application. And that was, you guys just did this and you're doing it again.
Yeah.
Change is constant. This is what we've been talking about throughout this blog. Change is constant, guys. It's here to stay. It's not the fact that change is constant is not going to change. It's the only thing that's not going to change. It's here to stay. Brian and his team are aware of that. So they're constantly sitting down to look at the changes that need to be made, the changes that are happening on their own. And that brings me to your question, which is, what did I learn? Well, Brian, I learned that change is constant. It's all around us, and it's all within us. What I mean by that is it's external and internal. Not only are the things around us changing all the time, but we're changing all the time. And I'm going to prove it. If you read a self-help book, what's your favorite self-help book? For the listeners, think about your favorite self-help book. One of mine is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, right? I read it for the first time in 1995. I've probably read it 7 or 8 times since. What's really interesting is I get something different out of the book each time, but the book doesn't change. The book's the same. It starts, it ends, and every typed word in between has never changed. But it's a different book every time I read it because I've changed. So when we combine the fact that we're constantly changing, we're constantly evolving, our brands and our businesses are constantly evolving, the things in the world around us, technology, outside forces are constantly changing, and we combine that awareness, we can accept and adapt to change to serve us and not hold us back. That's what I learned.
Mike, that is awesome. That is awesome. And, I urge our listeners one more time, get over to the ipeccoaching.com and find the blog. It is excellent. It's an excellent read. Luke puts it in very simple language and takes you through it in a story form where you can really, really get exactly what Mike and I are talking about here as we break this down. It's just a great blog post. And, I think that's pretty much wraps up another Bam Slam Home Run, Blog Breakdown, where I, Brian Kaiser, and the co-host and BAM partner, Mike Calderwood, break down expert business blogs so that you can better understand and apply the information to your business and your life for real results. And that's what we all want, real results. So we look forward to serving you, and we have new editions of the BAM Blog Breakdown every Monday and Thursday at 11:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. Once again, do yourself the service of going to the YouTube channel and clicking the subscribe button. It's very simple. All the links for today's show are underneath this video. However, if you need to get in touch with someone from IPAC, you get in touch with one of the people on Luke's team over there, reach out to Mike or I. We can make a personal and professional introduction for you and speed you along on your journey to helping you grow and be edified and make change happen and possible in your life and your business. In addition, if you're searching for coaching, if you're in need of a whiteboard session, maybe you're out there and you're going, hey, it's time for me to do a business review. I haven't done one in 2 years, and I'm stuck and I'm lost. And okay, Mike and I are here to serve. We're here to serve. We're both coaches. Reach out to us. We would love to help you. We'd love to provide that knowledge and that insight for you and help you move forward in your business. So as we leave this BAM Slam, I'm asking you, and we are asking you, how can we help you? How can we help you? So with that, we will see you next time. We are out.